So everybody's talking about the results on this card, but both of these main events will look at the key moments, distance, feet, shot selection, and the turning points, and most importantly, what happened before those moments. Hi, my name is Jacqui-Lee Pryce, former boxer, and I spent many years in the sport as a boxing coach and judge. So today I'm reviewing the first British MVP card that took place Saturday evening at Olympia. This card had two big talking points, the double main event, but yeah, there's a couple of fights on that I think were worth a mention. Chantel Cameron became a two-weight world champion as she secured the vacant WBO super welterweight title. A young Nigerian prospect worth keeping your eye on, Elizabeth Ashoba, made a statement with a stoppage win over Chelsea Arnell, and a dominant performance from Imra Garcia saw her retain her IBF super flyweight title. So, Ellie Scotney, Queen of Catford, coming into this, looking to become the youngest British fighter to become undisputed in the four-belt era. She enters the ring as a WBO, IBF and WBC champion. She's got the height, the reach. She's a composed operator, good boxing IQ, good shot selection, likes to stay disciplined and builds on her work. The question is, can she control the distance and the pace without getting dragged into a dogfight by Flores? And then you've got Flores, the WBA champion. She's a problem. I love this woman. Front foot pressure fighter, absolute tank. She's got a ridiculous engine on her. She's relentless, high volume, she swarms you. And if you're not switched on, she'll just walk you down and overpower you. Can she close down the gap, detonate that big bowl over right hand, the weapon of choice against Romeo, without walking onto shots? Flores immediately trying to detonate that devastating right hand. She's working behind the jab, taking her head off the centre line, bobbing and weaving to get herself into range. Scotney's main objective, trying to keep a little bit of distance, keeping it long range, popping out the jab. She's having some success, keeping it basic, just 1-2s down the pipe. And when Flores is in close range, Scotney's just tying her up and turning her. And nice work. Scotney just getting off those 1-2s and off on a bike. Scotney starts digging away at the body, trying to slow Flores down. She starts punching with her as she comes and having some great success with that. Flores is trying to swarm Scotney with just a sheer volume of punches, but Scotney is creating just that little bit of space. Now, the volume work is coming from Flores, but the more cleaner, accurate shots are coming from Scotney. She's stopping Flores in her tracks, making a reset, a really good use of angles and timing. And she's starting to time Flores' advances and catch her clean. You start to see a momentum shift. Flores has visibly slowed down. Scotney keeps creating that little bit of distance, setting little traps and drawing Flores on. And as Flores initiates attacks, she uses that momentum, punches with her, and stops her in her tracks. And every single time Flores is having to reset and go again. Scotney is being way more economical, but throwing more scoring shots. Just when you think Flores is slowing down, she gets a second wind. She comes steaming out and smothers Scotney with volume. And this is where Scotney has to dig deep and not allow herself to get dragged in to Flores' game plan. In the latter rounds, Scotney just seems really composed. There's no panic, no fear, as she dishes out some well-timed counters. She takes that half step back, controls the pace, controls the distance, and picks Flores off. And then just that little shift of the feet, reset, go again. When you look at the punches thrown, just because someone has thrown sheer volume of punches, that's not the full picture. You look at the style, who controls the tempo, the ringmanship, the quality, the IQ, and the power punches. Ellie Scotney wins by unanimous decision. I thought the two scorecards of 190 were a little bit too harsh. I do agree that Scotney won, but effectively that scoring is saying that Flores didn't win a round, and yeah, that's a little bit harsh. If you're enjoying this content, like, subscribe, turn on notifications so you know when we drop new content. Caroline Dubois versus Terri Harper. Caroline Dubois, as an amateur, multi-time European champion, World and Youth Olympic champion, and 2024 Olympian. Caroline, the defending WBC champion. Sharp, explosive, fast hands, good timing. She's confident. Can she apply all of that without getting emotional and getting drawn into the wrong fight? And then you've got Terri Harper, very experienced, first British woman to win world titles in 3 weight divisions. She's been in with some good fighters and knows how to manage herself. Can she outwit the counterpuncher, slow that pace down and fight her fight? But there's also a narrative coming out of this fight. A lot being said about Dubois, personality, nerves, confidence. People are really trying to find a chink in her armour. Now, rounds 1 to 3, this was a different type of a fight. This is about controlling the tempo and not being drawn into the wrong fight. There was a lot of noise coming into this fight, and I did wonder whether either fighter would start fighting on pure emotion. But strip that away, this was a technical fight, and not exactly the humdinger that people expected in the first few rounds. Both fighters doing a really good job of finding the range early on, trying to steal the space. Harper trying to trigger and set up Caroline for the counters. Because of a foot placement, Harper is already open for the straight left from Dubois. Caroline starts edging in with a few sharp blows to the body. She's landing that jab to the body, trying to set up a little trap. Dubois poking out the jab, and as Harper steps in, she makes that lovely little tiny foot adjustment, and she brings Harper on to a lead hand hook and takes her off balance. Harper's looking a little bit cagey. She's initiating attacks, but she's already on the retreat before she's landed. Dubois pushes Harper back with a double jab and finishes off with a beautiful backhand right down the pipe. That saw Harper switch on defensively, and she's trying to initiate 2 and 3 shot combinations, but she's missing wildly. Dubois winning the front foot battle, winning the distance, taking that little step across and detonating that backhand. Some of the pieces are starting to come together. Harper did some nice little work taking away Dubois' jab. And as the fight turns, Harper is desperately trying to draw something out of Caroline Dubois, but she's just not following up with any meaningful work. Her work rate has dropped, her timing's still off, and I think she's just trying to work out how to put all those pieces together. Dubois goes upstairs, downstairs with a 1-2, beautifully well-timed shot, and drops Harper. That's the shot Dubois has been looking for all night. And as Harper comes out for the next round, she's looking a little bit gun shy. She is initiating attacks, but she's just not committing. And anything she does throw, the lack of sting in her shots means they're just not having any effect on Dubois. In the final rounds, both fighters up the ante. It's more explosive, and there's some, lovely toe-to-toe in the pocket action. Harper now sitting down on a shot, she's digging in, but Dubois is coming off better in the exchanges. Round 9, Dubois draws Harper into her game plan. And as this round progresses and into the final round, Harper finally lets her hands go and is having success. And this probably could have been a different fight if she'd have let her hands go earlier. Dubois has heart and she loves to get stuck in. But for me, she was taking a few unnecessary punches. When she made those little adjustments, shifting the feet, she was able to pick Harper off. Now, I want to touch on something around the story being shaped around Caroline Dubois. And it's a bit of an ugly one, if I'm honest. There's been this subtle passive-aggressive narrative building around her being arrogant, overconfident, trying to get under her skin. And I'm not even talking about her opponent here. I'm talking about more broadly about conversations around this fight. And it's like there's a need to frame her a certain way. People love to build you up to tear you down. There was a lot of pressure placed on this fight to deliver. Was it as explosive as many predicted? No, but technically Dubois controlled the distance, set little traps, and cashed in later. Anyway, congratulations to Caroline Dubois on winning by unanimous decision to become the unified lightweight champion. Some great fights to be made. Everyone's talking about the Baumgardner fight. And I know some people might see this as a little step back, but I'd actually still like to see the Beatrice Ferreira fight. I just think it'll be a really good technical affair. The Turhan fight, let it simmer. Let's enjoy the appetizer before the main course. There was a lot of talk after the fight about where Harper goes from here. And I think when she watches this fight back, she'll be kicking herself that she didn't go through the gears earlier. She's achieved a lot in the game, but I still think she's got fights left in her. And as for Ellie Scotney, Queen of Catford, I predict she'll become a 2-weight world champion. If you want an authentic voice in boxing, don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, drop a comment in the comments section, and I'll see you in the next one.